Hello and welcome to our Fall 2025 HCU Community Update. It's been a busy few months here and we'd love to get you up to speed on all the wonderful activities we've been up to. We would like to remind you of our entire team. We have myself, Danae Barkey, Executive Director and co-founder of HCU Network America, our research coordinator, Brittany Park, Gabby Lewis, our marketing coordinator, and as of May, Liz Carter has left for a new opportunity outside the organization. So right now it's just the three of us. So a quick revisit here on our four different areas that we focus on. Our community support, research, advocacy awareness, and fundraising. And we also work to inform and provide resources to families and patients as they are seen fit under these four categories. So our first update comes in our community engagement pillar. And this past June, we had an excellent first ever homocystinuria regional meetup in both Orlando, Florida, and the Woodlands, Texas. And in Florida, we had 34 participants from 4 states. And in Texas, we had 50 participants from 3 states. We had fun, we played games, and enjoyed each other's company. And it was a really great opportunity to get to meet our extended HCU community. We want to thank our sponsors because without them, this would have not been possible. We had Cambrook, Eaton Pharmaceuticals, Nexus Patient Services, Nutricia, Travere, and Travere Therapeutics. You can see that we had quite the time and we hope that you'll join us for our next ones. We will be doing these in odd years outside of our conference. September was full of busy travel, and one of the last events we did in September was we attended Family Camp East. We shared resources and heard stories and made friends with so many from the low protein community. We got the opportunity to meet another family with classical homocystinuria, which are hiding here in the crowd. And we can't thank flock enough for their invitation to participate and connect with our larger flock. Can't wait for next year. While we were out on the road for another event, what we'll see here in a little bit, we got to see Ben and Lindsay from the HCNU podcast and their kiddos, as well as our September HCU hero, Carter. We love being able to catch up with the community when we're on the road. This is the second time on our Georgia trip that we got to meet up with these two families, and it's so wonderful to get to see them grow. So what's next? The next area we have here, I'm realizing some pictures aren't showing up, but in November, I, Danae, will be attending the Metabolic Support UK 2020-25 community conference. I will lead a session called Your Condition for the HCU community. This session will bring together members of the homocystinuria community and for an engaging and informative discussion where key opinion leaders in homocystinuria research, such as Andrew Morris, whose picture is not showing up here for some reason, and Sufin Yap here on the right. We'll discuss current research and the guidelines, and then I will close it out on an engaging fireside chat with patients and caregivers from the community. And then we have 2 meetups still for this year. We are going back to our old school community chats. So we are no longer doing the virtual town halls, which this is. We'll just be pre-recording those and uploading those for the community, but then our community chats really will be a time to come together and fellowship with other patients and caregivers. We have one on October 12th at 4 p.m. And then we have our winter one on Sunday, December 14th at 5:30 Eastern. You can scan this QR code where you can find the link on our socials. And the most exciting news, if you have not seen our social media, is we have now opened registration for our 2026 conference. Our 2026 conference will be held July 10th through 12th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can find details about the schedule, the agenda, childcare, and the hotel all on our conference page. Be sure to check it out and get registered soon. Lots of new fun and amazing things added to our 2026 conference. And advocacy and awareness, boy, oh boy, are we busy. On September was Newborn Screening Month. And in honor of it, we had a special podcast featuring Liz, the mom of Everett and little baby Clementine. And Liz has shared her family's powerful story of how newborn screening caught Clementine's diagnosis, which ultimately led to Everett's own diagnosis. She opens up about the challenges and triumphs and hope that fuel her advocacy for better awareness, research, and treatments for the HCU community. And then in a bonus episode, Ben welcomed Erica Wright and Greg Bond. Erica is a clinical genetic counselor at the Children's Hospital Colorado, an assistant professor at the University of Colorado Amschwitz Medical Campus. She plays a key role in newborn screening follow-up for the inherited metabolic disorders. And Greg is the program manager for the Colorado Newborn Screening Program, and he brings his expertise on how statewide screening impacts families and the diagnosis, such as Everett and Clementine's. And together they share their insights of the importance of newborn screening and identifying and supporting those with homocystinuria and the revisions they made to make it possible to pick up Clementine. We can't thank Greg and Erica for all their collaboration and all the work they do to ensure that no more babies are being missed in the state of Colorado. Thank you so much. And another picture that's not showing here. This is disappointing. So, before Flock Family Camp, we were at SIMD in NAMA, the North American Metabolic Academy, for their annual conference training in Buford, Georgia. Myself and my colleague Grace attended, and we got to meet with with fellows in the field. And we're back here. Sorry for the blip here. At SIMD NAMA's annual conference and training in Buford, Georgia, myself and Grace were able to chat with trainees in the medical biochemical genetics at the SIMD NAMA annual conference. And we shared the resources and support that HCU Network America provides. It was an excellent opportunity to start building relationships with other future providers. Whoops. So what is next? A little complicated here. Next, if you haven't seen on our social media, it is HCU Awareness Month. It's a very exciting time of the year for us to come together and celebrate and also advocate for the community. And so how can you spread awareness? The most obvious thing, I think, is to join us on social media and share. We have a little layout here that shows our first week focuses on the intro to the homocystinuria, followed by our next week focus on classical homocystinuria, then followed by cobalamin defects and severe MTHFR. And when it gets to your week, we have some activities here. And so take a look here, find the activity that you think would best suit you, and we would love to have your participation. So let's see what's next. Research. And so lots of stuff has taken place here. Since February of 2022, the HCU data collection program has enrolled 117 patients in 36 US states and 23 countries and counting. It's amazing to think that this large global community is working together to advance homocystinuria research. Of the 117 that are enrolled in the data collection program, only 81 have completed the head-to-toe survey. That equates to 69% of patients. Of the 81 who participated in the head to toe survey, here are the top 5 areas that the data is pointing to. A little more than half have vision issues. About 48, still more than half, have brain and nervous system issues. Just about half, 50%, have digestive issues. And then a little bit less than half have bone, cartilage, and connective tissue issues. And then about a third of patients have sleep issues. And so our goal now is to have 100% of patients enrolled and to have the head to toe survey completed. I said that a little bit backwards, but we want 100% of our enrolled patients to complete the head to toe survey. So if you have enrolled but have not taken this critical survey, we are asking you to go in and to take this. Your data is incomplete, and we can't begin to identify you in the data until you have done so. And so why is that survey so important? This past spring and summer, we spent a lot of time discussing longitudinal data and why it's important. And longitudinal data is completed as surveys are taken multiple times over a period. For example, taking the Health and Development Survey each year on a participant's birthday to update any changes, even if there are no changes, retaking the survey as another layer of data. Longitudinal data is incredibly important to understand trends and discover causes and effects, relationships, and understand long-term data impacts. This data leads to better understanding of the disorder, shorten diagnostic odyssey, provide better management guidelines, and leads to new therapies and treatment. Every time you take the head to toe survey, it creates a data point in your longitudinal data history. So in July, we started to shift, though, from our focus on longitudinal data and start to move into newborn screening, starting with featuring Hannah, whose daughter Olive was missed by newborn screening and subsequently wasn't diagnosed with cobalamin G till about a year old. Then we featured Brittany Park, who shared the story of her losing her first son Drew to homocystinuria cobalamin G, but now has a healthy 6-year-old Grayson with the same disorder, all thanks to newborn screening, which then takes us to the story we showed earlier of Everett and Clementine. We encourage you to listen to these stories and fill out the Rare X newborn screening survey. It's a simple survey that just acknowledges if you were diagnosed at birth, if you weren't, when the age of onset, and if you aren't sure, you can add that too. Your story matters regardless if you were diagnosed at birth or not. So Brittany's been hard at work here. She was our August feature. And also in August, Brittany attended the CAN-PKU conference, and we are incredibly proud of her for insights that were added here. Events like this are incredible opportunities to raise awareness and share research and collaborate with our partners in the rare disease community. You can see here that Brittany gave a presentation on longitudinal data and some of the initial findings of our data collection survey. She also presented a poster and got to meet some local families. We are so thankful for CAN-PKU for their collaboration with the Rare X data collection program and also for the invitation. About 2 weeks after being in Canada, Brittany boarded a plane again and headed to Kyoto, Japan for the International Congress of Inherited Metabolic Disorders. This was vital as we shared patient perspectives and connected with the global metabolic community. Together, we're accelerating progress for homocystinuria. You can see, again, Brittany gave another presentation, International Patient Reported Outcomes Accelerating Research for Homocystinuria. She also got to meet with one of our funded researchers, which is that bottom photo. It's a great opportunity to see our work in action. So what is next on our agenda? This week we are headed to the APHL Newborn Screening Symposium. Then about 2 weeks later, we'll be at the NORD Summit on a newborn screening panel. And then in December, we'll be headed to the American Society of Hematology Conference. And now we're into fundraising. Thank you to everyone who participated in our Race for Research. There's still time to donate. We are just slightly shy of our $50,000 goal. We exceeded our participation numbers for this year. We are now at 133 participants, and we have raised just under $48,000. Our Race for Research is so important. It helps fund the research that we can do. To date, we have been able to fund 10 different research grants leading to 3 clinical trials. This cannot be done without your help. So please, please, please consider donating, consider sharing, consider participating in the future ones. If you have ideas for additional fundraisers, we really our doors are open for collaboration and opportunity. We also want to thank Recordati Rare Diseases for being our finisher sponsor for this race. And so what's next? So we finish the race and then we move into the end of year matching gift challenge. It's our annual $25,000 match. This match is critical to our funding for the organization. This helps with our community outreach and education initiatives. Our biggest one in 2026 will be our conference. And so our conference is an incredibly expensive event to put on. A lot of family groups charge patients and families for participation, and we do not. Our goal is to make this completely free to the community. And so we really need your help making this happen. So please share this with your friends and family. And then when we meet our $25,000 goal, another 3 donors will come together to match your $25,000. You can also submit your donation receipt to your company, and many companies have corporate match opportunities, and their match will then also be. So you can take your 1 donation, turn it into 2, which then turns into really 4. And so it's a great opportunity to capitalize on your donations as well. And so please spread the word that we have this going on all the way through December 31st, and we will keep you updated. And last but not least, our small but mighty fundraising team is looking for new people. We have about 4 people on the team, and we really do tremendous work for how small we are, but we can always use more. We're not asking you to host a fundraiser. We're just asking for more hands on deck for the ones that we do have. Our first fundraiser of the year is our World Homocysteine Awareness Day, and funds from that fundraiser also help offset the cost of our conference. We use these donations specifically for our family conference for the scholarships for travel for families. Many families can't even manage to get themselves there. And so we help with flights, we help with hotel stays, and it's a very important part of the conference. And then we wait a few months and then we move into our Race for Research. This is one of our biggest events and has a lot of different moving layers. And then we have our end of year appeal and some smaller fundraisers sprinkled in. And so we are always looking for more help, more ideas, and it would mean the world to the community in the organization for your participation. And with that said, that is the end of our presentation, and I hope that you've gained some insight into what we've been up to. You are always welcome to feel free and reach out to me. My email is right here on the screen, dbarkey@hcunetworkamerica.org, and I look forward to hearing from you guys and interacting with the community at a later date. Thank you.